Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My beloved brothers and sisters, we are today going to start an explanation of the Madinah books, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, the famous Arabic language curriculum that is studied in the Islamic University of Medina, well renowned, studied all across the globe. Many people, hundreds and thousands, have benefited from this book and they have learnt the Arabic language. And I hope, inshallah ta'ala, that we can explain this book for you as well so that you can benefit from it and also start to understand the Arabic language as well. We will try to do as many lessons as we can and try to complete the first book. And then if Allah gives us tawfiq, then we can do the other books as well, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. If you find at any point in time that you're benefiting from these lessons and you're enjoying it and you feel like you're learning, I would highly recommend that you give consideration to joining the Arabic Code Academy, which is our online platform where we basically teach students how to master the Arabic language for the purpose of understanding the deen. So if it's the case that you want to understand your deen better, you want to understand Quran better, you want to understand the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, you want to be able to open up books, scholarly works that have been written in the Arabic language so that you can learn your deen better, then that is exactly what we try to take our students from complete zero to mastery of the language so that they can access that knowledge. And so if you would like to consider that and join us, inshallah ta'ala, you can click the link in the description below. But if not, then at least you can benefit from these beginner lessons, inshallah ta'ala, that will help perhaps ignite that thirst and that love for you to go further and deeper into learning the Arabic language. So without any further ado, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it and do as much as we possibly can with the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the Madinah books are very easily accessible. You can download the PDF, you can buy the book online. It's very easily accessible, inshallah ta'ala, so try to get a hold of it. And if not, the notes is what's really important, so you can make good notes and write out things. This, again, is for beginners. But the bare minimum level that you must have is you should be able to read the letters with the harakat without any problems. If you can't do that, then you would have to learn that first and then make your way to the Madinah book, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So let's get into it, inshallah ta'ala. So this is the first book. This is the cover, right? Durusul Lughat al-Arabiya, taught in the Madinah University, Islamic University. And we're going to go through the first book, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So there are a couple of things that will be a bit repetitive from my end, but it's just from the angle of making sure that you all are understanding everything that we're going through. I want to make sure that everyone's learning, everyone's paying attention. Of course, I can't see any of you, but I hope, inshallah ta'ala, in the comments below of this video, you can mention some points and some benefits, inshallah ta'ala. So let's go. We have here, as you can see, something that is basically considered to be a title here. Okay, so here, number one, we have the Arabic numeric form for the number 1. Okay, and we will refer to this with this straight line just going down like this. Okay, so this is 1, which basically means that this is the first chapter. Okay, and the title here is Ad-Darsu Al-Awwal. Ad-Darsu Al-Awwal. The word Ad-Dars, okay, the word Dars, it means what? It means lesson. Okay, it means lesson. And in fact, this is we would actually say the lesson. Okay, the lesson. So this is a dars. And al-awwal, the word al-awwal means first. Okay, apologies for my handwriting, but hopefully you'll be able to understand what I'm saying as I speak it as well. So ad-dars al-awwal means the first lesson. Okay, or lesson number 1. First lesson, ad-darsu al-awwal. Remember, the word al-awwal is also from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is al-awwalu, meaning He was first and there was nothing that came before Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ad-darsu al-awwal, the first lesson. And in the first lesson, we're going to study a very particular usage of a word, okay, which is this word here. This word is referred to as هذا. That's how it's pronounced, okay? We say هذا, هذا, هذا. And the word هذا is a word which is used in the Arabic language when you want to point towards something, okay? When you want to point towards something, you use the word هذا, okay? And you want to say basically the word this, okay? When you want to say the word this. So that's what هذا means. هذا. And so we're going to use and learn how the word هذا is used in different forms, in making a statement, in asking a question, in responding to something, where we're going to use the word هذا in multiple different ways so that we have a really good understanding, okay? The word هذا, by the way, just as a side note, and sometimes I might mention a bit of grammatical things, but it's important. The word هذا comes from a family of words which are basically known as al-asma'u al-ishara, okay? They are known as al-asma'u al-ishara. And al-asma'u al-ishara are basically words which are used when you want to point towards something, you want to indicate, you want to do ishara towards something. And so the word hada basically comes under that category. So we have the word hada. Let's look at some of these sentences, inshallah ta'ala. And as you can see, they come with images. And it's very important that when you're learning a language, you learn how to associate words with images. So as I read them, you should get an idea of what the word is referring to, or the sentence is referring to, based upon the image that's there. So let's start off over here, okay? We have the following sentence that says, هذا بيت, هذا بيت, هذا بيت, هذا بيت. What does this look like? What does this look like? It's a bait. هذا بيت, هذا بيت. The word bait means, and I'll write it here for you, a house. A house. Okay? A house. So when I say هذا بيت, I'm saying this is a house. هذا بيت. هذا بيت. Okay? هذا بيت. هذا بيت. هذا بيت. Okay? هذا بيت. Here we have هذا مسجد. هذا مسجد. هذا مسجد. هذا مسجد. This is a masjid. This is a masjid. And we translate the word masjid to mean a mosque, but يعني هذا مسجد. So هذا بيت, هذا مسجد, هذا بيت, and هذا مسجد. Okay, so this is a masjid. Good. So now we've learnt the word bayt, we learnt the word masjid. Baytun, masjidun. Here we have هذا باب. هذا باب. هذا باب. This is a door. So let's put this here. A masjid, and this is a door. هذا باب. هذا باب. This is a door. So هذا بيت, هذا مسجد, هذا باب. بيت, مسجد, باب. That's a bayt, that's a masjid, and that's a bab. Okay? So, somebody asks you, a question, you say, they ask you, for example, where's the masjid? And the masjid is right in front of them. You say, هذا مسجد. هذا مسجد. Okay, good. Here we have هذا كتاب. هذا كتاب. هذا كتاب. هذا كتاب. هذا كتاب. هذا كتاب. كتاب is what? It's a book. It's a book. هذا كتاب. هذا كتاب. What about this? What's this? هذا قلم. هذا قلم. هذا قلم. هذا قلم. قلم means a pen. هذا قلم. هذا قلم. هذا بيت. هذا مسجد. هذا باب. هذا كتاب. هذا قلم. هذا مفتاح. هذا مفتاح. What's a مفتاح? It's a key. A key. هذا مفتاح. هذا مفتاح. Good. What about this one here? هذا مكتب. هذا مكتب. هذا مكتب. هذا مكتب. مكتب. مكتب is what? This is a desk. هذا مكتب. هذا مكتب. This is a desk. Okay, good. هذا سرير. هذا سرير. هذا سرير. هذا سرير. سرير. What's a سرير? A bed. جميل. Okay. هذا سرير. هذا سرير. This is a bed. And the last one is هذا كرسي. هذا كرسي. هذا كرسي. 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 هذا كرسي. What is that? It is a chair. It's a chair. So we've now looked at the word هذا being used to point towards something and to indicate something. And if the word هذا means this, هذا بيت, this is a house. هذا مسجد, this is a masjid. هذا باب, this is a door. هذا قلم. Okay? And if I had the book there in my hand, هذا كتاب. This is a book, this is a pen. هذا مفتاح. هذا مكتب. هذا سرير. هذا كرسي. Okay? So we've learnt these 9 new words. بيت, مسجد, باب, كتاب, قلم, مفتاح, مكتب, سرير, كرسي. And the usage of the word هذا with them. هذا باب, هذا بيت, هذا مسجد, هذا كتاب, هذا قلم, هذا مفتاح, هذا مكتب, هذا سرير, هذا كرسي. Good. Make sure, as I've read them out, that you are writing down these words, these sentences. Okay? You're going to write these sentences down and what they mean, and make a separate list for each of these words. A list, a vocabulary list. The words you're learning, so you need to have them in a list so you can go back to them, you can memorize them, you can learn them further. Okay? So before, we were just making a statement. هذا كتاب, هذا باب, هذا بيت. Now, we're going to do something different. We're going to ask a question. Okay? We're going to ask a question. And we're going to say, ما هذا. ما هذا. What does the word ما mean? What does the word ما mean? The word ما means what? means what? It's a word which is known as a harful istifham. Harful istifham, a interrogative particle. Okay? It's a word that's used when you want to ask a question. So ma hada. So hada meant this. Hada baytun meant this is a house. Ma hada means what is this? Okay? Ma hada. Ma hada. Okay? So let's look at some of these sentences now. ما هذا ما هذا هذا بيت ما هذا هذا بيت. Somebody asks you a question, says ما هذا ما هذا. They're asking you about this. They want to know what is it. And so you respond by saying هذا بيت هذا كتاب هذا قلم, based upon what it really is. So ما هذا ما هذا. So when you use the word ma, generally speaking, you're using it from the angle of, you are ignorant of this thing, you don't know what it is, and so you're trying to figure out. Okay? So it's a word that's used when you're inquiring, what is that? Even though there are times that the word ma actually is used in the Quran as a question, but not from the angle of not knowing. Okay? Not from the angle of not knowing. For example, in Surah Taha, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to Musa alayhi salam, and he told him that he's going to be a prophet, Allah tabarak ta'ala, he asked him a question. He said, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا Musa. Allah said, what is that in your right hand, O Musa? Allah used the word ma, but does that mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't know, that he's unaware? No, he subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Okay, he knows. But he was asking for a different purpose with Musa alayhi salam. But generally speaking, you ask it when you don't know about something. Okay, when we use the word ma, we use it because we don't know. So, ma hada, what is this? Hada baytun. Hada, ma hada, hada baytun. Okay, here we have another sentence. Ahada baytun. Now, if you remember, we just previously took the sentence هذا بيت. Okay? هذا بيت. هذا بيت. هذا بيت meant this is a house. Now we have the sentence here أهذا بيت, and it's a question. What is it that's making this sentence into a question? It's this Hamza at the beginning. This Hamza at the beginning. And this Hamza is also known as a harful istifham. It's a word that's used for when you're asking a question. But it's different to ma. Ma means what? The word ahada is basically used when you are trying to affirm something. Okay, whether that is the case. And so you can translate it as the word is, and in certain contexts as the word do, sometimes even are. Okay? But this is all based upon the sentence that's being used and when you translate it into English. But it's used when you want to ask for confirmation of something. So someone says, Ma hada, this, what is this? Hada baytun, this is a house. Ahada baytun, is this a house? Ahada qalamun, is this a pen? Ahada masjidun, is this a masjid? Ahada kitabun, is this a book? You're asking for confirmation. Okay, you want to know, is it this thing that I think it is? Ahada baytun? And when you are asked a question and somebody asks a question using the harful istifham of Hamza, you would respond by either saying na'am, which means yes, or you would say la, which means no. So depending on the questions answer, you would differ between saying na'am or la, yes or no. But when somebody uses the word ahadha baytun, you would have to say na'am, yes. Somebody said, is this a house? You would say yes, na'am. Or you would say la. And so, ahadha baytun, is this a house? He responds by saying, na'am hadha baytun. Yes, this is a house. Yes, this is a house. Or he could have said, la hadha qalamun. Nope, this is a pen. La hadha kitabun. Nope, this is a pen or a kitabun book. So, ahadha baytun. Na'am hadha baytun. Okay, let's look at another example of this entire set. Okay, another example. Look at this. Here we have a picture. ما هذا ما هذا ما هذا هذا قميص هذا قميص. What is this? This is a shirt. ما هذا هذا قميص هذا قميص. Okay, good. Here's the picture now. There's a question for it. أهذا, let's write this here by the way. Qamis, right? So it's a shirt. Alright, a shirt. أهذا سرير. So this is referring to this. Someone's asking, أهذا سرير. What does أهذا mean? It's when you want to confirm with something, right? أهذا سرير. Is this, what's a sarir? What's the word sarir? We took it in the previous. We said sarir was a bed. That's a sarir. So what's the picture being shown here? Is the picture a sarir? لا, هذا كرسي. هذا كرسي. So this is different now. First time was هذا بيت. نعم هذا بيت. Okay, he got it right. It was a house. But now هذا سرير. لا, هذا كرسي. كرسي. This is a chair. Another example. أهذا مفتاح. أهذا مفتاح. أهذا مفتاح. لا, هذا قلم. لا, هذا قلم. Okay, see, you can see that the la or na'am is being used as the answer for this. Same in this example. أهذا مفتاح. لا, هذا قلم. هذا قلم. Okay, good. ما هذا. ما هذا. هذا نجم. هذا نجم. What's a najm? A najm is a star. هذا نجم. هذا نجم. So now, not only do we know how to say هذا كتاب, هذا بيت, but we know how to say ما هذا, to ask what is this. We also know how to say, confirming an answer for something, أهذا بيت, أهذا قلم, and how to respond to that by either saying نعم or لا, and then mentioning what it is. هذا كتاب. نعم هذا كتاب. لا, هذا قلم. Okay? Let's go for some examples. Okay, tamreen. The word tamreen, by the way, means exercise. Tamreen means an exercise. So here's a question. ما هذا. ما هذا. We would start off by saying هذا مفتاح. هذا مفتاح. ما هذا. هذا كتاب. Next one. ما هذا؟ أهذا مسجد؟ أهذا مسجد؟ لا، نقول هذا قلم. هذا قال هذا قلم. هذا قلم. ما هذا؟ ما هذا؟ هذا باب. هذا باب. هذا باب. باب. Next. ما هذا؟ أهذا مسجد؟ أهذا كتاب؟ لا، هذا بيت. بيت. And the last one we have here, ما هذا؟ ما هذا؟ هذا كرسي. هذا كرسي. هذا كرسي. So those are your answers. ما هذا? Okay, remember the image. Remember the word. It's very important to memorize the words. Then you test yourself on that basis. ما هذا؟ هذا مفتاح. ما هذا؟ هذا كتاب. ما هذا؟ هذا قلم. ما هذا؟ هذا باب. ما هذا؟ هذا بيت. ما هذا؟ هذا كرسي. Okay, now we got a تمرين number 2. Okay, التمرين الثاني. Second one. Now we're asking a different question. We're not saying ما هذا. We're saying أهذا بيت. Remember the word is being used. The hamzatul istifham. So we've got to hamzatul istifham. Hamzatul al-istifham. So when that's being used, it's a question that's being asked, right? So we have to respond by either saying na'am or la. We have to say na'am or la. My question to you is أهذا بيت؟ أهذا بيت؟ لا. The answer is لا. هذا مسجد. So we're going to say لا. هذا مسجد. هذا مسجد. Okay, good. Next one. أهذا مفتاح؟ أهذا مفتاح؟ أهذا مفتاح؟ نعم أو لا؟ نعم أو لا؟ We're going to say لا. لا. هذا قلم. لا. هذا قلم. لا، هذا قلم. هذا قلم. Next one. أهذا قميص؟ أهذا قميص؟ أهذا قميص؟ نعم. نعم. هذا قميص. So we're going to say نعم. هذا قميص. قميص. نعم، هذا قميص. And the last one. أهذا نجم؟ أهذا نجم؟ نعم أو لا؟ نعم، هذا نجم. هذا نجم. Okay, so now we just practice using the question أهذا something. Okay, good. Okay, now this part تمرين, this third one says اقرأ واكتب. اقرأ means read and write. Okay, read and write. And so what you're going to do now is you're going to practice your reading and writing. So I'm going to do it for you, inshallah ta'ala, and then you also have to read it and write it out as well. But what they want you to do is get the harakat, put the right, harakat on these words, because you can see there's no harakat on them, right? So they want you to read it so you can pronounce it correctly, but also put the right harakat on them. So let's do that together, inshallah, in red. So we say هذا مكتب. Okay. هذا مسجد. هذا قلم. هذا سرير. ما هذا؟ هذا كرسي. أهذا بيت؟ لا، هذا مسجد. ما هذا؟ هذا مفتاح. You'll be able to do this perfectly yourself, inshallah, based upon your memorization, but you've got to practice it regardless in order to get it right. So you've got to write this answer out in order to get your spellings correct and the harakat and the pronunciation for all of this. Okay? Okay, good. Next one, we're going to do another question now. Okay? Another question. Before, we were using the word ما هذا. Okay, if we go back here. ما هذا. By the way, if I didn't mention this, so I don't think I did, but when you use the word ma for asking a question about something, because you don't know what it is, it's used for something which is, as we call, غير عاقل, something which doesn't have an intellect to it. So basically animals and objects. Okay, anything which is not like a human or something which has an intellect. So human beings and angels are those that have intellects. But anything outside of that, objects and things, animals, when you want to ask about them, you say ما هذا. Okay, so if I saw a person, right, I wouldn't say ما هذا because that person is a intellect, someone that possesses intellect. So we have to use a different word. And when it comes to asking about people or things that have intellect, we use the word man. We don't say ma. We use the word man. So I want to ask about somebody, I would say man hada, and I wouldn't say ma hada. I would say man. And the word man means who? Man hada. So hada means this. Ma hada means what is this? Man hada means who is this? Man hada. Good. So now let's look at some of these questions. So here we have man hada. Man hada. So not ma hada. Man hada. Who is this? هذا طبيب. هذا طبيب. Can you guess in this image? It's got something in his ear. Can you guess what that is? Can you guess who this person is? This is a طبيب. A طبيب is a doctor. A doctor. من هذا؟ هذا طبيب. هذا طبيب. Okay. So من هذا؟ هذا طبيب. So the same way which we were asking about ma, you were asking about some sort of object, except this time you're talking about human beings. So ما هذا؟ هذا قلم. من هذا؟ هذا طبيب. Okay. Next one. من هذا؟ هذا ولد. هذا ولد. ولد. And that's a lollipop in his hand, right? That's probably going to be a child. Okay. So the word walid, okay, can be referred to as a boy. Okay, and I think in this context it's a boy. هذا ولد. Also a child. So هذا ولد. من هذا؟ هذا ولد. Okay. من هذا؟ هذا طالب. هذا طالب. هذا طالب. طالب means a student. So who is this? من هذا؟ هذا طالب. هذا طالب. Good. Now this one, we're mixing up a little bit. أهذا ولد. So remember that Hamzatul Istifham that we were using to ask a question. أهذا بيت? Is this a pen, a house? What about أهذا ولد? أهذا ولد. Is this a boy? Is this a boy? لا. You gotta respond with either نعم or لا. Okay. لا. هذا رجل. هذا رجل. Can you guess what رجل is? رجل means a man. So أهذا ولد? Is this a boy? لا. هذا رجل. This is a man. Okay. So the same way that we used it for the ما هذا, أهذا كتاب? لا. هذا قلم. Okay. In the same fashion, you can use the same words like this as well, inshallah ta'ala. So this is using the word man to ask about somebody. Okay, to ask about somebody. Let's go for some of these examples. Okay. ما هذا؟ هذا مسجد. Okay. ما هذا؟ هذا مسجد. So what is this? This is a masjid. Notice the word ma is being used because this is an object. It's a building. It's an object. But then he says, Man hada. Man hada. Who is this? Hada tajirun. Ma ma'na tajir? What does tajir mean? Tajir basically means a trader. Okay, a trader. And a tajir is someone that trades, does business. Okay, so a trader. هذا كلب. هذا كلب. Can you guess what that is? Kelb. A kelb is a dog. The word kelb means a dog. هذا كلب. هذا كلب. This is a dog. This is a dog. Here's another question. أهذا كلب? Is this a dog? أهذا كلب? Asking now. أهذا كلب? لا. You have to respond by saying نعم ولا. لا. هذا قط. هذا قط. The word قط, okay, means a cat. So this is not a dog, this is a cat. أهذا كلب؟ لا. هذا قط. What if I say أهذا قط؟ لا. هذا كلب. Okay. Another one. هذا حمار. هذا حمار. A حمار is a donkey. هذا حمار. هذا حمار. هذا حمار. This is a donkey. Okay. Here's a question. أهذا حمار? أهذا حمار? Is this a donkey? لا هذا حصان. لا هذا حصان. حصان is a horse. It's a horse. لا هذا حصان. هذا حصان. وما هذا? Remember I said to you that the word ma is used for objects, things that don't have intellect, and animals. So this is now in context of an animal. وما هذا? What is this? وما هذا? But the word wa just means and. Okay, it means and. وما هذا? And what is this? هذا جمل. هذا جمل. What's a jamal? Jamal is it's a camel. So we've got a few animals here. We've got قط. No, we've got a few. We've got كلب, which is a dog. قط, which is a cat. حمار, which is a donkey. Okay, we have حصان, which is a horse. And then we have جمل, which is a camel. Camel. And all these animals, if you wanted to ask about them, you use the word ma. You wouldn't use man. Okay? You wouldn't say man hada, and the person would respond by saying hada jamalun. It wouldn't make sense. The word ma would have to be used because it's a non-intellect being. Okay. هذا ما هذا sorry ما هذا ما هذا هذا ديك هذا ديك يعني ديك means a rooster. Okay, a rooster. Okay, a rooster. ما هذا هذا ديك هذا ديك. من هذا? Now the word man is being used. Am I referring to an animal, an object, or a human being? A human being, right? Something of intellect. Man هذا? Who is this? Who is this? هذا مدرس. هذا مدرس. This is a مدرس. A مدرس means a teacher. Means a teacher. Sorry. A teacher. أهذا قميص? أهذا قميص? Remember the word قميص? We took it previously. قميص means a shirt. أهذا قميص? لا. This is not a قميص. هذا منديل. هذا منديل. The word منديل is basically a tissue. But it can also be used for a handkerchief as well. Okay? It can also be used for a handkerchief. So منديل. منديل. So we've got some new words here now. We've got ديكٌ, which is a rooster. We've got مدرس, which is a teacher. And منديل, which is a tissue. Okay? So using the words, asking different questions based upon the word هذا. Okay? And we're going to do here now another exercise, تمرين اقرأ واكتب. Okay? Read and write. So you're going to have to read this and write it out, and I'm going to put the harakat on there for you guys. First one, ما هذا هذا قلم هذا كلب من هذا هذا طبيب هذا جمل أهذا كلب لا هذا قط. اسمه الشدة ده. أهذا ديك نعم. أهذا حصان؟ لا، هذا حمار. هذا منديل؟ أهذا ولد؟ نعم. من هذا؟ هذا رجل. رجل. هذا رجل. Okay. I would advise you to practice writing out these sentences with the harakat and also try to translate them as well. So you have that as well. Okay, so ما هذا, what is this? هذا قلم, this is a pen. هذا كلب, this is a dog. من هذا? هذا طبيب, who is this? This is a doctor. هذا جمل, this is a camel. هذا كلب? لا, هذا قط. Is this a dog? No, this is a cat. أهذا ديك? Is this a rooster? نعم. Yes. أهذا حصان؟ لا، هذا حمار. Is this a horse? No, this is a donkey. هذا منديل. This is a tissue. أهذا ولد؟ نعم. Is this a boy? Yes. من هذا؟ هذا رجل. Okay, that's it. Okay, so that's lesson 1 inshallah ta'ala. Just to give a bit of a brief, we basically looked at the following. Okay, we looked at the usage of the word هذا, and we used it with the word ما, with the word من, and also the alif or hamzatul istifham. And we also learned that whenever this word is used, the hamzatul istifham, you have to respond by saying either na'am, or you're going to respond by saying la. Okay, and then we learned a bunch of words which are titles for human beings, which you would use when you ask for saying man hada, and the names of some objects and animals for the ma hada. Inshallah ta'ala, practice going through them, memorizing them, reading out the sentences, trying to create your own sentences as well. Inshallah ta'ala, it's very important that you do that. It will help you gain more confidence and strength over them. Okay, and try to ask those questions. Okay, ask those questions and then answer them. Doing that will just be good, practice for you, so you get the ability and the hang of utilizing these words as much as possible. And then hopefully in the next video, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq, we'll do the second lesson. It turns out the video went a bit more longer than I was expecting. I was going to do all 4 lessons, but inshallah ta'ala, lesson 1 is fine, and we'll try to do lesson 2 in our next session bid'Allah ta'ala. May Allah bless you all. I hope you benefited from this lesson and the usage of the word hadha and these other words, and how to ask questions and answer questions utilizing this particular word. As I mentioned before, if you want to take your Arabic studies to the next level, the Arabic Code Academy, we seek to teach people the Arabic language so that you can master it for the purpose of understanding your deen. If you want to learn your Quran, you want to learn the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, you want to access Islamic knowledge, you want to be a person of knowledge in your own household that your family and your people can look up to and benefit from, then join the Arabic Code Academy. You can click the link in the description, inshallah ta'ala, and start your journey today. You don't have to start it tomorrow. It doesn't have to be the day after tomorrow. You can literally immediately start with us as soon as possible, inshallah ta'ala. And I ask Allah ta'ala to give each and every single one of us a tawfiq, and may increase us all in beneficial knowledge and knowledge of the Arabic language. Jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.